Now it's time to fully dive into the next project, which is this beautiful crew cab shore bed that I showed you guys in one of our previous videos. We've got this thing in full UFO mode. It's basically ready for all of its new parts. This truck is also getting a 4-link. Now, it's gonna be slightly different to Bryce's. This thing's not gonna be a cradle 4-link with a 4-link for the rear or anything like that. This is gonna be just a long arm 4-link kit. So we just got done cutting all this stuff. We had to make some changes to it, unfortunately, and I'll talk more about that later. This is gonna be basically what it's going to look like, which I'm super excited about. It's going to be beefy and it's going to look super good. But we're hoping that between today and tomorrow we get that kit welded together so that we can mock it up on the frame. One thing that I totally forgot that I needed to do is a cross member. Over the last few days I've been making a cross member on the computer for this thing, and it's going to look amazing. The other thing I want to show you guys is I know that ever since we got this lift, I've been trying to figure out what the best way would be to remove and reinstall axles from these trucks, because obviously that's all we do. And I think I might have found the solution with this Vevor hydraulic lift table. As you can see, that's the axle that came out of that truck, and this is the setup that we used to be able to remove it. And let me tell you what, this thing worked like an absolute charm. This thing is rated for 1,100 pounds, which is more than enough for these axles. It's a unit. I mean, it rolls perfectly fine with just one hand. And basically the way these things work is, as you can see, we've got that pedal down there, which if you pump on it, it lifts the table. And then it goes up to about that high. And then to lower, you just pull on this handle. And it's actually pretty controlled. And one thing that I liked about this is that I've had this axle on that table for a few days now, and this thing hasn't bled out any at all. Like, it went down a little bit now because obviously I was messing with it, but the whole time it's held its the level that it was at perfectly. So if you guys are looking for something like this, highly recommend that. We'll leave a link below in the description to this exact unit that we use. This is the 1,100 pound unit. I believe they actually have bigger units than this and smaller ones too. So again, highly recommend it. They had a great price. And again, huge thanks to Vevor because they're always supplying us with tools. So thank you. Okay guys, so we got the 4-link mounts and the crossmember designed. I didn't like a couple things of the crossmember, so we went ahead and redesigned it. But I'm gonna show you the version 1, which is this. Ignore the center hole being off center right there. I accidentally welded this thing backwards, but it's fine. Just a prototype to make sure that everything is where it needs to be. And a couple things that I am happy about, we were able to nail this level, I guess, pretty good. So that's good. We made some changes. We made this one a little bit taller, and then we made these a little bit wider just to make this part look tougher. And then another thing that we did is we added just a little bit of width to make up for that little gap right there. That way everything should be nice and tight. And one thing that I really wanted to accomplish with this cross member is I wanted to be able to remove the radius arm brackets without having to drop the cross member. So we've got these plates that sit on the frame rails. That way, if you ever got to remove the 4-link mounts, you can leave your cross member in place. And then obviously we've got our 4-link mounts all tacked together. I am in love with the way that they're looking. I really can't wait to see the actual 4 links on this thing. And then over here we have the rest of the parts. So like I said, this is gonna be the new updated crossmember. I'll show you all the changes once we have it put together, but I'm gonna be working on that here pretty soon. We also have the truss all cut and ready to be bent and welded together, so that should be pretty nice too. Now what I'm gonna be working on now is we're gonna be doing the gearbox swap. So I'm gonna go ahead, remove this thing, install the new unit. This is just a rebuilt unit from O'Reilly's, and I'm gonna talk about these lines here in a little bit. I kind of figured out quite a bit after doing this for a while, so I'll talk about this here in a little bit. Let's go ahead and remove this one. I actually got to drop the truck. I picked it all the way up just to make it easier to show you guys, but I mean, I am really loving the way that this is turning out. I especially like this view right here of the brackets with, of course, the BDD, the design, and they're looking great. And by the way, look at this. Look at this. Dax, come here. Say hi to the camera. Say hi to the camera. Look at this puppy. Look at this puppy. He's a killer. Yeah, come on. This, I wish I could say that it's our new shop puppy, but he's our new part-time shop puppy. He's Jose's new dog. Super cool. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead, drop this thing, and swap out that gearbox. Okay guys, so removal of the box is going to be super easy. The steering shaft to gearbox is a 13 mil socket, and then these two fittings, I use a 5/8 wrench to get them out. You're going to want a drip pan because you're going to leak some fluid out of there. And then these three bolts are going to be a 16 mil socket, or a 5/8 too, also works apparently. SAE, so yeah, 5/8, never mind, 5/8. We'll get that out. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, get all this out. The order that I like doing this in is I remove this bolt first and remove the steering shaft, and then we remove these two fittings, and lastly remove these three bolts and drop the gearbox, and you're halfway there. Okay guys, so we've got the gearbox out of the truck, and I want to show you something pretty interesting that I just found out. And I say found out because I haven't heard anyone talk about this, and maybe someone has talked about this and I've just missed it. But one of the problems that I had been having doing this swap is that after we did the swap, it would leak out of the low pressure port, which, I mean, it should be this top one. It would leak out of there. So what I had been doing is we would go ahead and buy the gearbox to cooler line from a Super Duty, and we would essentially, so those lines, it's hard line down to soft line, back to hard line. So what I would do is I would cut it at the end of the soft line, and then I would cut this cooler loop right here, right before it goes back up to the gearbox. And since it's again, it's a low pressure system, it's sure it would hold. You know, you throw a couple of hose clamps, and that never gave me any problems. It would never leak. Now keep in mind, I'm saying this because these threads, these two ports are the same on both of them. So the hose that was on that truck, you know, will thread into this gearbox. This line you do have to get it new because these threads are larger than that on the high pressure side. But what I'm getting at is that I was looking inside of this thing, and I found this little fitting in there, and that corresponds to basically the flare that the OBS lines have. So then I took it out, and it's fairly easy. All I did is I stuck a screwdriver and essentially just wiggled it until it came out. Looking in there, I was looking in that port and looking at that port, and they look identical. Like to me, they look pretty much the same. I can't really see a big difference between that port and that port. So what I'm thinking, what I'm going to test with this truck is I'm going to, again, take this fitting that was in the OBS gearbox and put it in the Super Duty gearbox and see if that will allow me to keep the OBS return line stock and not have any leaks. So again, pretty interesting. Now, if that doesn't work, what I did find was these fittings. So these fittings right here, and again, this is a whole nother can of worms, because in doing research, I found that there's two different kinds that they use. I'm not entirely sure which one is right, but I'm pretty sure that every return line that I've bought had this end for the gearbox. But again, what this is, I'll try and put a part number to it, but it's just a fitting that will thread in there. And then all we got to do is just get some return power steering hose. And this already has, you know, a nice little barb right there so that we can slip the return hose on this, throw a couple clamps, do the same thing on the other end, and it'll work. So even if this little fitting ends up not working, we do have these that should work. This way we'll avoid spending, because I believe the whole line is like 50, 60 bucks, something like that. This little thing is, I think, 20 bucks or maybe less, maybe 15, 20 bucks, something like that. So you save a little bit of money. And this curve is actually a little bit tighter, which should help with clearance between these lines, because they do fit kind of tight between each other. Super excited to see if this will work, because it'll make things a lot simpler, just taking it out of there, popping it in there, and no leaks. So we'll try that first, but if that doesn't work, then we'll take it back out, take that back out, and use this fitting. Alrighty guys, so update time. We've got the gearbox removed. We also went ahead and removed the high pressure line from its home, that fitting right there. So we took out the high pressure line from there. We took out the gearbox, and then we drilled out these 3 holes to 37/64s. That will fit these larger bolts, because yes, the new 05 Plus gearbox has longer bolts. And then you can't use the Super Duty bolts. You actually have to use longer bolts, which we sell these on the website if you guys are interested in doing the swap. So we got all that drilled out. We also went ahead and cleaned out this area because we like, going ahead and painting it after we're done. The next couple steps obviously is going to be to go ahead and reassemble this thing. We're at that stage in the build where we can go ahead and start putting everything back together. The last thing that I want to show you guys though before we do that is the high pressure lines. Obviously this rusty crusty old high pressure line is the one that we took out of the OBS. And this is what we're going to use as our new high pressure line. This also comes out of Super Duty. The only thing is I can't remember exactly what Super Duty this comes out of. I just know the part number. But again, on the new box, the high pressure port is larger than on the OBS, so we can't use this line. Thankfully, like I said, this line threads in there, has the correct fitting as the OBS. So we're going to just go ahead and install this on the truck. Once we have this on the truck, we're going to go ahead and install the gearbox. Hope that the fitting that we're going to put in there holds. I'll let you guys know. I'm going to go ahead and start filling the reservoir again, because it pretty much all drains out when we're doing this. So we got to refill it, bleed the system, all that stuff. But with those, like if it's going to leak, it's very evident. It leaks right away. We're going to go ahead, put everything together with the OBS low pressure line and that fitting that we're going to put in there, and hopefully everything will work out fine. Alrighty guys, so we got this swap pretty much done. The only things that we're waiting on is the pivot arm nut. Those things are actually kind of hard to find. I'm waiting to attach the steering shaft back to the gearbox, just because I want to make sure that the pivot arm is in the correct position of where I took it off, which I usually put this thing straight ahead. But I want to talk again about why we recommend doing this swap so much, and why I think it's worth doing this swap over staying with the OBS gearbox. The main benefit that you get from this gearbox is that, in my opinion, it's a beefier gearbox when it comes to the sector shaft. This shaft right here it's quite a bit larger than on the OBS. It makes this a lot stronger. I'm sure that we've all seen pictures, I've heard of someone snapping the sector shaft, especially with larger tires and whatnot. That in itself, to me, it's a worthwhile upgrade. The other reason why you want to upgrade is because, one, if you do this swap, you won't need a custom pitman arm, which is what we include with our kit. It will now be an off-the-shelf part that, if for whatever reason you need a pitman arm, you can just go to your parts store, or you can order a pitman arm for this gearbox. You won't have to order a custom one from us. Another one of the benefits that you do by pairing the 05 Plus gearbox with the 05 Plus axles is that you actually get to take full benefit of that tighter turning radius that you get with the 05 Plus axles, which again, it's also a great benefit because it's, it makes it easier parking these big old trucks, in those tighter parking lots. We've already had the pump filled with fluid for a few days, and there's zero leaks coming out of anywhere. So I definitely do think that fitting definitely solved that problem, because again, this is the stock OBS line. This is that newer power steering line that I told you that we gotta get, and everything's working fine. I know that these look pretty close, but there's actually a gap between them, so that'll be fine. I truly believe that this is a really worthwhile upgrade for you guys when doing the 05 Plus swap. And we're actually working on a kit to where you can choose between the custom pitman arm or these bolts and this line, so you can make that swap instead. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. We've got, as you can see, a lot of projects going on. We're working on a video on that for that truck, pretty close to being done, so look forward to that. And again, we've got so many projects coming down the line. We still obviously got to finish this truck. We've actually have pretty much most of the kit ready to go to powder. That's not the whole kit, by the way. The rest of the parts are over there. But we've got all of that stuff ready to go to powder. So while that stuff is at powder, we're gonna go ahead and start cleaning up the frame, cleaning up the axles. We've got an axle over there. We've got to get the truss and all that stuff welded onto that axle. And we're gonna have this truck ready to go here pretty soon too. So we're pretty excited. My goal is to actually have both of these trucks done so we can show you guys both versions of the 4-link. So the cradle 4-link and then just the front 4-link. Super excited. Stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you for the next one.